When we're looking at the bubble method for converting our U.S. customary units, we'll start off with a bubble with our lines dividing the top and the bottom. And if you remember, we talked about how the top was for our smaller ones, and the bottom was going to be for the larger or the bigger units, okay? Smaller meaning inches, larger would be feet or yards. So let's say we're going to convert two units. I have yards and feet at the bottom, and we're going to find what's missing. So here we have, I'm going to start off with something easy. We have 2 yards equals blank feet. We talked about the small versus the large. Well, out of the 2, feet is going to be smaller, and my yards, which 2 yards is going to be what I have that's larger, that's going to be at the bottom. I talked about our extra, which is going to be our constant. So if I know that there are 3 feet to every 1 yard, well, that's our constant. Now I see these two are side by side, so I'm going to have to multiply. And when I get 3 times 2, I'm going to get a 6, which actually becomes 6 feet equals 2 yards. Now let's try cups and quarts. So here I have 24 cups and blank quarts. I know that my smaller unit is going to be my cups, and he's going to go on top, so 24 cups. I don't know how many quarts, so that's going to be my bottom since it's the bigger out of the 2. And I got to know my my constant. And this is where, well, there's going to have to be a couple of things we're going to have to do. So I know I'm going to have to go from cups to pints to quarts. We could use our gallon man that we did in class, where I've got my gallon, and then you've got your 4 quarts to your gallon, and then to those 4 quarts I've got 2 pints, 2 pints, 2 pints, and then within our 2 pints we had 2 cups. So we had 2 C's in each little thing. Okay, so I want to know how many quarts is 24 cups. So if I look at my diagram, knowing what how many cups is in 1 quart, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in 1 quart. So 4 is going to be my constant. Now if I want to know how many quarts is 24 cups, well, then I have to make sure that I do I'll do another operation. So if I look at what I have here in my circle, notice they're not side by side, but they're on top of each other. So let me make a little more space right here so I can show you what that looks like if I pull it out. I'm going to have 24 over 4. We've talked about how to simplify fractions, and here I have an improper. How many times can 6 go into 24? How many times can 4 go into 24? And you would tell me 6. So 24 cups equals 6 quarts. That's how we would do it if I have to go through more than one step. This works for any customary units, and I know there's several in your homework. I'm going to show you one more for your homework that goes from comparing. It says using a less than, greater than, or equal to. Okay, so if I look at 8 pints and 1 1/4 gallon, I want to know if it's less than, if 8 pints is less than, greater than, or equal to 1 1/4 gallons. So we could look at our gallon man again, and even though I erased him, I can redraw him. I've got the G, and all I'm going to need to do is pints, really, to my gallons. So now I've got my 4 quarts, and then let's get one more color in here. We'll do a little yellow for my pints. Okay. I want to know, remember we've got to get our constant right for the pints and the gallons. Let's see, I'm going to have gallons on the bottom and pints on the top. I want to convert all of these to pints. Pints is my smallest right now in this little problem. And if I'm going to compare them, they need to be the same. So I have 8 pints on the left, and I want to know how many pints is 1 1/4 gallon. Well, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pints in 1 gallon. Oh, well, wait a minute. If I have 8 pints in 1 gallon, then I definitely know that 1 1/4 gallon, he's going to be bigger. But I'm going to show you how to solve this anyways. So let me go ahead and move my this down, and I'm going to move my 1 1/4 gallons down when I've got my, how many pints he is. But I know that I've got 1 1/4, and I've got, where's my, we don't know what he is. He's blank. Oh, okay, so they're side by side, so that must mean I have to multiply. Alright, so, oh, well, I'm going to need some space to multiply too, aren't I? Okay, so we're going to multiply. So I have 1 1/4 times 1/8. This is a little review on how to multiply. 4 times 1, and then is 4 plus 1 is going to give me 5 1/4. Multiply the bottom by the side and add it to the top. And I'm going to multiply by 8, and 8 over 1 is going to be what I'm going to multiply by. So here I go, 5 times 8 straight across, that's going to give me 40, and 4 times 1 straight across is going to give me 4. Simplify 40 over 4, and 4 can go into 40 10 times. Alright, so let's erase this. So now I know that 8 pints and 1 1/4 gallon is actually 10 pints. Even though we knew that it was going to be less than, I wanted to show you why it was less than, so that way we can work it out. So this is comparing, just as we used the bubble, and I showed you how to compare.